to the show where there's so much to be gained. Get ready to be educated and entertained. When it comes to sports, there's no fooling around. Here's Ryan with his real sports rundown.
Oh man, you want to talk about a crazy tournament that took place over the last few weeks, man. I don't think I've ever seen a better NCAA tournament in my entire life, man. If you just saw the intro, man, that's how it was going all day. I'm like, oh my God, did you just see what happened? I mean, you got buzzer beaters, you got, great games. Almost every single game I saw or telecast that was on the TV was a great game, man. I could not believe how great these games were. I mean, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, man, my bracket is screwed, but I don't even care, man. I was rooting for the underdogs. I mean, you had teams like Baylor making some noise, making it to the Elite Eight. Unfortunately, they lost to Duke, my arch rival. But, you know, Baylor had one hell of a season, man, so congratulations to them. Butler is going to the Final Four. They are going home. Their campus is 6 miles away from where they're playing the Final Four at, man. So, I mean, that's going to be a home game for them. They're taking on Michigan State, and then you got West Virginia taking down Kentucky. So, I mean, it has just been an unbelievable Final Four, man. The madness has ensued. I can't even recall the last time I've seen great games from the very first weekend all the way up until the last. Now, I'm hoping the Final Four is just as good as these games were. I'm hoping we didn't get all hyped up just to be let down and be like, all right, these games really weren't that good. But, I mean, you got Michigan State versus Butler. Those two teams, both number 5s, are really good teams. And for the first time since, I think they said 2003 or 2001, somewhere around there, that a number 5 team is going to be playing for the national title. The last team to do that was Indiana. So we'll have to see if they can maybe pull off the upset, man. I'm going to go with Michigan State, man. Tom Izzo and Michigan State, man, has a really good team. Even though Lucas is out, it's one of those two. They're out of the game. They're one of their best players. So, I mean, can they get it done? But they've done it, man. They beat Tennessee, man. Very close game. And then you got West Virginia versus Duke, man. I'm pulling for West Virginia so badly right now, man. I do not want Duke to win. I'm not a Duke fan at all. So hopefully they do not pull off that victory, and that will be done data, as my boy Jay Sheridan would say. But national champion, I like to see Michigan State win it, man. But of course, I'd like to see Butler win it too, man. You can't really go wrong. As long as Duke don't win it, I'll be a happy camper. And as long as we see some good games, man, I'll be good to go, man. But crazy March Madness. I mean, buzzer beaters, teams upsets. I mean, you asked for it, you got it this year, man. I think this was probably one of the greatest tournaments in a very, very long time, from beginning, hopefully, to the very end. So, let's see how that goes. All right, now this is for my boy Cody. My boy Cody that I work with, man, he has been griping and just getting on to me that I do not talk about NASCAR. Well, mainly because I'm not a big NASCAR fan. I pay attention to it, but I'm not all into it like he is. He wants me to talk about it a little bit. So, Cody, here you go. Here's your NASCAR talk, man. It's still beginning. It's early in the season, man. NASCAR gets exciting later on. Daytona 500 is always exciting, but after that, it kind of starts to fall off a little bit. But, you know, hey, NASCAR is NASCAR. Jimmie Johnson right now, I mean, it's Jimmie Johnson. I mean, have we seen a more dominant driver right now in NASCAR? I mean, this guy he knows how to win. I mean, you can't deny that, man. The guy's won 4 straight Sprint Cup championships. I mean, 4 straight. 4 straight. I mean, you can't argue him whether you love him or you hate him, man. I mean, he might be the New York Yankees, or I guess the Boston Red Sox now, of NASCAR at the moment, because everybody hates him. Nobody likes to see him win. But, you know, I mean, you can't deny that, how good he is, man. Now, one guy I've always liked was Dale Earnhardt Jr., man, but sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad. He just doesn't do everything that he should be doing. I mean, I think he's trying to live up to the hype a little too much, but, I mean, maybe one day he'll actually bring in that Sprint Cup championship. We'll have to wait and see. But the biggest thing that happened was Carl Edwards. We're in Kowalski, I believe that's how you say his last name. He wanted to wreck him on purpose because apparently a lot of the drivers are angry about how he drives. Well, here's the thing, though. It ended up flipping him in the air, and his car tumbled, and people flipped out about that. And Carl Edwards himself, a guy that I actually like his personality, I like how he does things. Apparently, everybody got onto him saying, dude, you did that on purpose. Well, he's like, yeah, I wrecked him on purpose. I didn't expect him to flip in the air. I mean, come on, nobody's safety should be troubled or questioned in that aspect of things. So, I mean, NASCAR, man, I mean, you got to love NASCAR. I can't watch it myself, but I like to keep up with it. Who does good, who's doing bad, who's coming up out of nowhere. So I mean, we'll have to keep going how the season goes, man. I'm sure my buddy Cody, man, you'll keep me informed on what goes on in NASCAR. That way I can talk about it, I'm sure. So there's your NASCAR talk. You know, that's something we do too often right here on the Real Sports Rundown. All right, guys, now it's time for the baseball preview, National League Central and the American League Central. We'll start off in the American League, man. The Twins went to the playoffs last year. They signed Joe Mauer to the extension. So can they win that division again? Well, they lost Joe Nathan for the year, so I'm not really sure. I might have to go with the Detroit Tigers yet again this season, man. They are a really good team. It's hard for me. I mean, the division is not really that strong as well. I mean, you got the Twins. Well, actually, it might be stronger than I think, actually. You got the Twins, you got the White Sox, and then you got the Tigers. Those are probably the only three teams that you probably have to worry about. Cleveland and Kansas City, I mean, they're still rebuilding. I don't think they're going to make that much noise. But I believe it's going to come down probably to the Twins, the White Sox, and the Tigers, and I'm going to have to take the Tigers in that one. And, okay, now it's time to get to the National League Central, and you know what? I'm not even appropriately addressed for this, so hold on just 1 second. Bam! That's right, baby. Oh, look at that, man. It's movie magic, man. I got into my attire, and let's see here. I'm an Astros fan, so let's see here. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty, man. My Houston Astros, man, Roy Oswalt kind of struggling. He's a little hurt right now, but I don't think that's going to affect anything, man. It's the early on in the season. Most teams that have people that are hurt early, you know, that as long as they come on strong late, you're good to go. But you got Roy Oswalt, Wandy Rodriguez, if he can rebound after the great year he had last year, that's a great number 2 starter. Brett Myers, also the pickup for the Astros, might help us out, man. Eat up some innings, be a solid number 3 starter, and I'm hoping we have a good rotation this year. If Brian Mueller, Bud Norris, or Felipe Paulino can get in there and actually get the job done. It's going to be the bullpen that's going to be questioned, man. We don't really have a legit closer at the moment that I can think of. So it might be closer by committee, but hopefully the Astros do well this year. I like contend. That's right, I said contend, because the Central Division, the only division with 6 teams in it in Major League Baseball, is pretty wide open right now. You got the Cardinals, they're great. Don't be wrong, they got the best player in Albert Pujols, but can the Cardinals, you know, do what they did last year? I believe the Cubs are okay, but they're not as great as everybody always makes them out to be. You got the Brewers, the Brew Crew, that could take down the division, and then you got the Astros, okay? I believe it's going to be so wide open, you really don't know who's going to win. I think for the first few months, it's going to be jarring between a bunch of these teams, and then we're going to see exactly who comes away with the victory in that one. So I'm pretty much going to have to go with, you know what? I'm going to be a homer, man. I'm going to say the Houston Astros, man. They can take down this division if they play well and strong. The Cardinals will probably take the wild card out of this one. Maybe. I mean, because as weak as this division is, if all these teams beat up on each other, man, they could still win enough games to take a wild card out of it. So, I mean, you could go either way. Cardinals division, Astros division. One of those two teams win the division. One of those two teams take the wild card. I mean, yes, I know I'm being a homer, but I'm trying to be logic about this as well. I really, truly believe the Astros have a decent enough team this year to make the playoffs out of the weak division of the National League Central. Now, the Astros were in any other division, then it might not happen because, I mean, there's a lot of tougher teams in different divisions this year. In the National League Central, I don't see a lot of tough teams out there outside of the Cardinals. But even if the Cardinals are great and everybody else is mediocre, the Astros can beat up on them and still sneak into the wild card. So that's my philosophy, and I'm sticking to it. If you don't like it, I only got 2 words for you. That's right there, baby. Sorry, WrestleMania was the other night, man, so I'm still hyped up on watching that, man. That was just a great thing right there. All right, guys, that's going to do it this week for the Real Sports Rundown, man. You got the madness of March. Now, I'm going to take a hiatus for a little while, maybe about a little bit over a week, man, because this Monday, I am going to be at Astros opening day, man. It's going to be G on location, special Real Sports Rundown, back home edition. Before I make the move back home, going to be hitting up opening day at Astros, take on the Giants, Oswalt versus Lincecum. Hopefully, so far, that's the starting lineup, starting pitchers anyways, for those two teams. So we'll have to see exactly how that goes, man. Hunter Pence, hope you have a great year this year, buddy. You too, Michael Bourne. Hope you can keep it going from last year, man. So for me right here, next time you see me, it's going to be a whole different background, baby. It's not going to be the same, and I cannot wait. Everybody have a great one. Enjoy the madness of the Final Four, baby. And opening day is only a week away. Cannot wait. Everybody have a great one. Woo! Baseball season finally in effect.